Every day in the newspapers, there is one or the other news article on a man committing suicide. And this news has now become so common that newspapers don't even give it a big space. It is mentioned somewhere in a corner of a newspaper. And these men who commit suicide are a lot of times husbands, fathers, sons. And I feel that as a society, somewhere it is time for us to reflect and look within on what can we do differently to prevent this. Because the idea is not to blame the person who has committed suicide. It is obviously not their fault. It is a fault of a much larger culture that we are living in today. I also did a podcast a few days back with two men who had the courage to come up and talk about their mental health journeys. And both the men said the same thing to me in their podcast, that both of them, when they were growing up as boys, never spoke about their emotions to anybody. In fact, even among friends, as boys or as adults, amongst male friends, there is never any conversation about emotions or feelings. The conversation is always around cricket, stock market, finances, property, investment, career, bosses, colleagues, film stars, etc. But it is never about feelings and emotions. In fact, if once or twice somebody brings up the topic of feeling and emotions, either everybody makes fun of him or pulls him down, teases him that he's acting like a girl, or they just completely ignore or just disregard that whole topic. They just swipe it under the carpet. And this is not just among teenage boys or young boys, it is also amongst adults. Another thing is, most of the boys who have grown up with very strict parents, who are very controlling and authoritarian, also do not feel safe to share their emotions with their own parents. So what happens is, from childhood, boys are learning that they cannot share their emotions. They are not safe to share their emotions with anybody. In fact, even when they try to share or when they show any emotion like grief or sadness or fear, they are quickly said that be like a boy. You can't cry. You will get over it. You can manage it. You can handle it. And the same feeling continues because they tell themselves that I can handle it. I can handle it. And they never ever either try to understand their emotional issues or do anything about it. When they get married also, a lot of these men don't even share their emotions and feelings with their own wives. They have normal conversations about children and food and grocery and finances and relatives and in-laws, but never about what they are feeling. Why? Again, because they do believe that they will appear weak in front of their wives, or they simply don't know how to share their feelings in front of wife or a woman. And hence what happens is they bottle up, and they keep telling themselves, I'll deal with it, I'll deal with it. And finally, when the jar is full, there is a breakdown because they realize that they are unable to deal with it. They don't even know what is the problem. They don't understand themselves. And if they don't understand it, how are they going to solve it? And that is when they are pushed to committing suicide. So remember, as a society, somewhere each one of us has to take a stand for our men, whether it is our son, whether it is our brother, whether it is our husband or a boyfriend. And from the time they are young, we have to start normalizing conversations about emotions, feelings, and mental health amongst boys also, and not say that deal with it or forget about it. If you're a mother, from today, start talking to your son about his emotions and feelings. Ask questions, share about your feelings and emotions. Ask your husband to do the same. Do it as a family. Normalize this. If you have a brother, if you have a friend, talk about emotions more than anything else, because that is the most difficult conversation to have. But if we start doing this, more and more boys and men will start feeling safe to talk about these emotions and feelings, even amongst their own groups. And once that happens, we will have less and less men succumbing to mental or physical health issues that are coming from years of suppression. So this is my thought. Let me know, what do you feel about it? Also make sure that you share this video with any one man or one mother who you feel needs to listen to this. I would also love to hear from you, what are the different ways that you connect with your son or with your husband and start having these conversations about emotions and feelings. Do let me know. I look forward to also listening to your point of view on this.